Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Phone Gaming Connoisseur, and welcome back to this Let's Play of Mortal Online, the second era. Today you're watching episode 83, and so my mission today, and I'm hoping for the best, is I'm going to look for the librarian that sells the Tindremic plate armor book. So I did a bit of digging around on Google, and so something's happening out here. Okay, just a guy and his dog. So okay, I've got to be careful here. There's always a possibility of a player killer. So I did a bit of digging around, and it turns out that the vendor is actually in this tower in Meduli, or alternatively you can go to Fabenham, and there's a vendor that sells the book as well in the tower. So if I'm not mistaken, if the information is still up to date, then you can go to either city to get that book if you need it. So I'm sending Starkania today because what I'm planning to do is I'm hoping that I can once I've located the vendor, then I will send Tibers on mount on his what do you call my jungle Lacaitor, which I've affectionately named Obsidian because of the colour of the mount. And that mount is of course, as you know, very fast, and it's kind of like my Ferrari in this game. So I'm sending Starkania as an advanced scout to scout ahead and to locate the book, so that when I go there with Tibers, I can just make a quick trip to and back from Meduli, so that I can avoid spending too much time hanging around, because I have found out that that book costs 10 gold, which is exactly the same as the price of the plate armor crafting book. So I'm not going to. So that's why I'm sending Starkania, is because I don't want Tibers to be wandering around trying to find the vendor when he's got 10 gold on him. And once he gets that book, he needs to make a quick return back to Tindrem, because Raynon will be waiting for that book. Okay, so far so good. So it's good to be out here again, out in the wilderness. If you've been following my videos, you'll know that I've spent a number of episodes. I've spent maybe, I think it's 3 or 4 episodes or more in town in Tindrem, and so it's good to be out in the wilderness again. I'm kind of like the outdoors kind of person. So it's good. It's refreshing to be out and about. I always like to travel and go adventuring. And it looks like some guild has built this, what looks to be a keep. So once again, this landscape that used to be empty has now been built over with a keep. And I mentioned this before, and on one hand it's good to see player structures popping up all over the place, but on the other hand it's a bit problematic for me, because when I go traveling, I go by landmarks that I memorize, and whenever a player guild puts up a keep or a structure, it sort of throws all that, it throws things out of balance for me. So I sort of have to rememorize everything, so, but it's not too much of a problem. It's just a minor impediment. And there's the Belbus. And so lately, speaking of the wilderness, recently I've just been watching Conan the Barbarian, which is a very old movie. That movie came out in 1982, if I'm not mistaken. And I really enjoy that movie because near the beginning, where Conan meets his friend and companion, the thief, and I can't quite remember the name of the thief, but when he meets the thief, he they go, they become good friends, and both of them, they go traveling. They travel in the wilderness, and there are a number of really good shots of the of that movie's universe, the landscape, the wilderness in that movie's universe. And it really does remind me of the landscape in Mortal Online to a certain degree. I really do like the landscape. And I just have to say that the old movies, way back in the 80s, and to a certain extent, the 90s, I really do feel that those old movies, I really do think that they, I do enjoy watching those old movies more than the modern ones, I have to say. If you take Terminator as an example, Terminator is an old movie as well. It's a very old franchise, which started in 1984 with the first Terminator movie. Now, even though that movie is very old, but I have to say that compared to the newer Terminators, like let's say Terminator 3 and 4, otherwise known as Terminator Salvation, I have to say that the first Terminator is way better than a lot of the newer ones, I do have to say. I don't know, it's maybe it's because I was born around about the time when the first Terminator came out, so maybe it's because you always like the movies that you grew up with, maybe. But yeah, I do feel that somehow the modern movies of these days, they don't really capture that that feel anymore. It doesn't hold my interest as much. And so I was watching Terminator 3 just the other day, and sort of around about halfway through, or maybe not not halfway through, but getting closer to halfway, I sort of lost interest, and and I gave I stopped watching it, and instead I went to watch the first Terminator, which held my interest a lot better, and I enjoyed that more. So, you know, I don't know what it is. It's it's almost as if you know, making good movies is a kind of a lost art. Pockets inquiry. Okay. Alright. Okay, so we're near Meduli now. So I'm hoping that I can locate that vendor quickly, because I do want to get Tibers to get that book. Well, woman. What a name. Yeah, you get all kinds of people, you know, coming up with all kinds of names. The other day I saw Toyota, which was rather unusual, but you know. Okay, so, oh yes, and you know, I've been thinking of moving one of my characters, either Tibers or Stakania, to another city. Not to abandon Tindrem altogether, but to establish, you know, like a secondary base of operations. And I'm kind of thinking of moving to Meduli for several reasons. So one reason is because, you know, I do like the scenery. You know, it's by the coast, and you know, it's a very nice scenery. You know, you've got the jetties and you've got the desert, and yeah, it feels very rugged, and it's very it suits my style. But the other reason also because oh, look at that! Wow, look at this. That's the, if I'm not mistaken, that's the bridge to the upcoming continent. Wow, check that out. Oh, that is a very long bridge. You know, this might be something I can check out in the near future. Once I get the Tindremic plate armor book for Rainan, I will, you know, endeavor to explore this. Even though the new continent isn't out yet, but you know, I'm the kind of curious kind of guy, and so I do intend to check it out. So hope you will join me for that. But first, let's go and look for that vendor that sells the book. Should be in here. There we go. I think that's the guy. Tindremic plate armor. There you go. 10 gold. Yep, here it is. Okay. And while I'm at it, I'll just see what this guy sells. Faint techniques, poleaxes, spear stance, heavy armor training. Okay, so might be something that I'll need in a later time. But let's just explore this. Oh, so it's locked. Okay. Alright, so thank you for joining me on this trip with Stakania acting as the advanced scout to find out where the vendor is. So now that I know where it is, I'm going to log Stakania out, and I'm going to send Tibers to come here. And I'm going to do it as quickly as possible and as discreet as possible, because I do not want you know, anything to go wrong with this. So, alright. How about if I just, you know, get near to the guards, get within the city limits, so that it will take 10 seconds to log out, as opposed to, what is it, 30 seconds or 40 seconds? I'm not too sure. Okay, I think this is good. So thank you for joining me today, and hope that you enjoyed this video. If you could please like, comment, subscribe, and share. So I will see you next time. This is Fine Gaming Connoisseur. Take care.